Well, it's a very wet and windy night here across the UK, and it's thrown up some interesting results in the Premier League after Manchester United's win over Wolves. Janusz, let's start with the other side of Manchester. Manchester City trying to keep pace with Arsenal. You'd think they'd get the job done against Everton and Frank Lampard, but guess what? It was Everton who managed to hold on for the draw. Demarai Gray goal. Wow, how did Everton pull this off at the Etihad?
I don't know, but I give credit. Look how happy you are after the Manchester City.
I just love exciting games, Janusz.
No, no bias on my part here. I'm going to try very, very hard. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, today I told you at Manchester United that style is not that important at
Hmm.
festive time, and I'm going to stick with that because it's a different festive time given the fact that the players were away for such a long time at the World Cup. And for Everton, I mean, did they deserve it on the on the base of the play? Of course, they did not. It was one-way traffic in the first half, and one moment of brilliance from Demarai Gray because it was a beautiful goal. It was all Manchester City. However, given the fact that Everton were under tremendous amount of pressure, Alexis, and the way they lost at home in the last game against Wolves, right? Stoppage time, or I don't know, 95th minute, heartbreaking for them for sure. And to go to Manchester City and bounce and get a point, I mean, what a significant point that may be when it's all said and done. So you have to give Everton credit for that. For Manchester City, yeah, I don't know how they did not win that game. Alexis, and by the way, I mean they've lost last home game to Brentford, and now they drew. Yes, I know that was a long time ago, but they seem to have problems at home as of late.
And I mean, we like to say, or at least I like to say, death taxes and Robert Lewandowski goals, but now it's death taxes and Erling Haaland goals. Even when it's not 100% going City's way, he keeps scoring. And now we're probably looking at an unbelievable record, aren't we?
It is, and
It
again, I mean,
is, isn't
all
it?
told, I think he scored. He had 5 touches, and then in the end, I think he had like 18. And so he's very efficient, that's for sure, with his finishing. Although Riyad Mahrez did a tremendous
Yeah.
job, a great individual effort to beat Michallenko and put it right in front of the goal. There were three Everton players around him. You'd think they get a little bit closer. One touch finish for him. The irony of it all is that I mean, think about it. Holland comes to the team. He scores 21 goals already. How many games is that? I lost count. 21 goals already. You'd think that Manchester City are going to be out of sight. I mean,
Yeah.
think of it, 21 goals. And here we are, 4 points. If Arsenal beats Brighton, that's going to be 7 points behind Arsenal. It just goes to show it is a little bit different Manchester City team. They're not scoring by committee like they have in the past, where they won the league in so many different and beautiful ways. And I'm
Mhm.
not saying that they're not going to win the game. There's still 2 games against Arsenal. They could do it, but it is ironic, isn't it, for him to be breaking all kinds of records and going strong, and who knows, maybe scoring 40 goals in the season. He's got 21, and yet City drew against Everton, as I've said, lost to Brentford in the last home game. So I don't know where this is going to lead, and certainly I don't want to take anything away from him, but it's a different dynamic, isn't it? Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It'd be Manchester City with that addition and 21 goals already. The league would be over by now.
But as you said, Arsenal have the chance tonight to go 7 points clear. It's not going to be easy. We have yet to see what happens. We always talk about Arsenal taking dips in the second half of the season, which we've seen in the past with a pass. This Arsenal does look like the real deal, though. But psychologically speaking, in terms of the title race, how is this affecting both sides? Even though I'm sure Arsenal will want to say that they're not focusing on what City's doing too much.
Look, I mean, I'm not. There's no way of spinning the City. It was a massive 2 points loss against Manchester City. We keep waiting for Arsenal to fall apart, but they're not, and that's the reality of the situation. So, as I've said, there's two more times that they obviously we haven't seen Man City against Arsenal just yet. But this is not good. And by the way Manchester City have played, I mean, they were dominating, but I don't think this is City at their best. In fact, nowhere near to what we remember when they were winning the Premier League in a great fashion. So again, Pep Guardiola, and I'm not going to doubt him because he's done it to everybody, but he's trying to make a point to Phil Foden. Again, he's not starting. Grealish in the last game against Leeds was really bad in the first half. deceptive because remember he set up 2 goals in the second half for Erling Haaland, and the statistics look better than the way he played today. He was okay, nothing special. It's as if Pep Guardiola is trying to justify over 100 million pounds spent on Jack Grealish. I think Phil Foden is a better player. And so I don't know, but look, he's done it to Bernardo Silva, he's done it to Mahrez just recently, and Mahrez is playing well. He seems to kind of when players are at their best, he challenges them and sometimes doesn't start them, and it works for him. So I'm not going to doubt him just yet. But here, I don't know. I don't know if Grealish is going to be worth the money they spend on him when it's all said and done.
Ooh, spicy. Well, one quick one before we move on to the other match. Demarai Gray, just a word on him because, of course, he's been highly touted in the past as well. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to get from Everton. They're also on a bit of a rebuild with Frank Lampard. But have you liked what you've been seeing from him, and do you think he's finally fitting in?
From whom? I'm sorry, apologies.
Demarai Gray.
Oh, Demar Gray. Well, I mean, look, small sample. I don't. I think at times he's okay. I don't think he's been superb. But I mean, the goal, the way he took it was unbelievable. Yes, Rodri needlessly gave the ball away in the midfield, but then again he found himself kind of trying to outpace 3 or 4 City players, pulled back a little bit as if he was looking for some help, and then ultimately showed composure and patience, really, because that was important, patience to put it away. So it's great. But I don't think, after a game like this, dominated by Manchester City, I'm going to sit here and say too much about him. One player I will say a lot about is, again, Onana, because he's been superb throughout the season. Great find for Everton. And today he more than matched Manchester City in the midfield because Rodri, even though he gave the ball away, he once again had a very, very good game. But he was matched by Onana. So I think that was the player that jumped at me immediately. And by the way, not for the first time.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.